So I was going to do this early in the day. Hell, I even thought about bringing Fada on, and like both of us just going through this, just one by one, just having a solo rant. But I'm gonna probably just send this to him, ask him what he thinks. But I want to tell, I just just want to lay it out front. Tory Lanez is a sucker ass nigga. I didn't like. I look, even though I don't want to say my mind was made up, but yeah, my mind was made up that Tory shot Meg. It was just obvious. It was his gun. Everything Megan, and I'll probably say, reiterate this later on. Everything Megan has been showing has been consistent to her fucking story, and yet there are niggas that are still. Even I look, I don't have him problem with saying like his side of the story, but the way he did it is just really fuckboy shit. Like it's just some real fuckboy shit, and I did not want to listen to his album. I'm not. First off, I'm not that big of a fan of Tory Lanez, and I'm not even trying to be biased. Like, yes, I'm a fan of Megan, not a fan of Tory, but I'm like I sat on this just to look at this in the most logical way and how to confront this because I knew I was going to do this video, but I was trying. Let me think about it. Sit down, think about it in a logical way. Now, but everything just pointed back to him being a fuckboy. The way he was treating other black women, and don't get me wrong, I'm not the type of dude that's like believe all women. I'm really not. Like there are times where black women be upset with me because I don't see it their way. But that's neither here or there. When I say, but to say this, I said Tory Lanez is a sucker ass nigga. It's always been a sucker. I always looked at him as a sucker ass nigga. I don't care if that nigga do good music or not. But he's just some people you just look at. He's like you either weird. I was right about Doja Cat, and I'm not trying to bring them in there, but when I said Doja Cat's kind of weird as fuck, and it's just like she gives off this fucking weird vibe, I was right. When I said something about fucking Tory Lanez, he's like, for some reason, I like don't like him, like his personality wise. It's like something about a real fuckboy. Like I was right, and this kind of proves it. Most people did, like he really not only like tried to tell his side of the story, he released music. So you got people trying to stream his album and his music while telling the side of the story. Now, him telling the side of the story, I do not have a problem with. But you could tell his story is all over the place. But before that, he was trying to apologize to Meg the Stallion, and to me, I think he's trying to save face to whatever fucking fan base he got. Maybe the diehard Tory Lane fans, maybe the people that maybe it's the men that's just like fuck bitches entirely, or maybe even some of them red pill or MGTOW niggas that just hate women. Like there are a few. I'm not saying everybody in MGTOW red pill hate women, but there are a few that's just like they call themselves MGTOW and all that stuff, and is they know who they are. I'm not speaking about everybody. But when I've listened to his story has been all over the place. At one point, he was apologizing. At one point, he was telling you he was drunk. And now in his lyrics, he's talking about, oh, it really didn't happen like that. It didn't really do all that. It was like, what is it? Because, and even T.I. was like, well, you better say something. And T.I. I have none problem. I don't know if anybody's going to go against T.I., but I don't have a problem with T.I. said. You better say something. Because what it sounds like it is a real fuckboy shit. But it seems like everything he did was like all over the place. I felt like if you really didn't do it or you really didn't shoot him or something like that or whatever the fuck happened, you should have been out there in the front gates. But it was your gun. Somebody and her foot was been shot. And the thing about Megan, like I said, her stories was consistent. You could see it in the camera. She was walking out, her feet were bloody, like she was, and the way she was walking is like someone shot her in her feet. She had the pictures of her getting a foot surgery. Everything, everything came into fruition. And he's talking about like, oh, you shoot, but he ain't hit no fucking bone. Dog, I've I don't like. Please learn your anatomy. Like sometimes this shit do not fuck. I've seen I've seen like a lot of medical shows where like people get shot in places and it doesn't hit bone, doesn't hit a nerve at all. It just goes right through by the grace of God. There's always been stories about that. And like I said, Megan's story has been consistent, been totally consistent to a logical point where it seems like, okay, who do you believe? Now you got both sides of the story, and I'm weighing in. I said, well, since Megan's story is much more consistent and is more in line, very logical with what she was saying, I'm going to agree with Megan. Unlike Tory Lanez, which his story is all over the fucking place. Now, to me, that is some fuckboy shit. And the fact that he did this while putting out music, so he's like whoever's streaming it, and he's getting money out of this off of a black woman's pain. Yes, that is some fuckboy shit. It is like total fuckboy shit. And again, I'm not the type of nigga to be like believe all women. I'm not that type of nigga, but I do feel like our black women do need to be protected, especially when they're telling the truth. When they're being, when they're being abused, when they're being protected, you got to protect your black women. Now, don't get me wrong. I feel like there are some black women that's not for black men, and sometimes I guarantee you, and I admit this, there are black women I probably wouldn't lend my hand out for the way they be acting towards our people. There are black women that are like that I will not lend my hand out because they say not all skin folk is skin folk. So when I look at this, I said, yes, this is on fuckboy. And then you put some music out on it. Like I said, I don't care how far. I didn't even listen to it. I don't care. I read the lyrics, and then I was reading all the lyrics, and it was just like, oh wow, you really did some fuckboy shit. You a sucker ass nigga, and that's all it really is. And then the matter of fact that you doing this a couple days after we found out that Breonna Taylor's murderers are going to basically get away scot free, and one dude, only reason he's even getting some type of look see is because he shot at walls. Like Breonna Taylor's walls or your neighbor's walls is getting more justice than Breonna Taylor herself. And that's another, and that was another rant that I did on my podcast. So we're not even gonna talk about that. So, and I know a lot of dudes. It's like, what does Breonna Taylor's murder got to do with Meg Thee Stallion getting shot in the foot? Now, if anybody doesn't never seen this video, it's called "How Men and Women Think." Now, basically, it's like this man broke it down to basically how women brains are like wires and men brains are like boxes. And the thing about the wires is they everything goes together. This intertwines with this, where this will intertwine with that, and all that stuff. Like, and men's minds basically like we're boxes. We open the box, we look in the box, we play in this box, and we close. When we're done with the box, we close the box and we make sure the boxes don't touch. I may or may not leave. I'll probably leave. The video if it's still up. I will leave the description in the description box so people will understand it better. But what I'm saying is, these women are going to connect this to fucking Breonna Taylor. So it's just on solely of her being a black woman and unfeeling, unprotected, even though her boyfriend did everything he could to try to protect her. But shit happens. But it's like you see. But back to Tory Lanez. Yes, this shit is some really sucker bullshit, and it's just like I don't. And maybe this is just me, and I will admit this is probably just me. I don't want what this nigga did or niggas that think like him because and this is why another thing I think he's sucker because the one thing I think in this year and it's been really evident is this social divide between black men and black women and how black women don't feel like black men don't love them, black men don't trust them, and black men don't protect them. And the whole time me and probably a few other people was like, there are black men that will fucking live, die on a cross for you or something like that. I don't want to say die on the cross because that's real religious, but we worship black women. We want to protect our sisters. We want to do everything to make you feel protected. It's like, but we feel like I don't feel like them niggas get a look see, and I will keep saying that. It's like I feel like as far as black women go, y'all pay attention to niggas that don't protect you instead of the niggas that do. And that's irks me. And that fucking irks me. And the women with the agenda, they're going to run with this. Black women don't feel protected and all that other stuff. Even though there are black male celebrities, quoting Malcolm X, and they're quoting Malcolm X. There are black men that's telling you, yo, this shit is not right. Black men that tell you there are black men that's not on Tory Lane's side that like me that think he a suck ass nigga. Matter of fact, I went on Facebook and I would say this: there was more niggas against Tory Lanez to what he did than it wasn't. I seen a couple women like, man, that shit was fucked up, but that album was fire. It was like, and to me, it's just and I don't want to dive off because so y'all can do this with Tory Lanez, but y'all can't do this with R. Kelly. Take the music away from the artist. It's like so we choose picking and choosing who we did because they both did something to like women, specifically black women. So what is it? What is it? Now the thing is, like I said, I admit that I'm not a big fan of Tory Lanez. But even then, I tried to look at this from a logical standpoint. And everything just rounds up to him being a fuckboy. And I feel like we need to get niggas like this out of our community. I don't care if that nigga got money. I don't care if that nigga got clout. You need to get niggas like this out of the fucking community. That nigga need to go back to fucking Canada. I don't even know why niggas like him. All right. And then the nigga lied about being his fucking 5'3" when it was on his fucking ID. It's like, nigga, we seen you in the interviews. Nigga, you sit up and stand down at the same fucking time, at the same fucking height. But you know what? Let me just not just. I'm gonna just bottom line this. I need this year to end, and obviously we need to do better for once. I would say this: we need to do once. We need to do better on once on the other. And I feel like Tory Lanez is still going to be everywhere with his fucking story. All right, this is like, and also stop bringing Chris Brown in this. Like, please leave Chris Brown alone. Chris Brown has nothing to do with this. But at the end, look, I feel sorry for Meg. That because I seen like even then she was even when she didn't say who did it, she was trying to keep that shit under wraps, and then it was his PR people that was trying to like that was blowing it up and shit, and then it made her try to say stuff, even though she tried to keep that shit under wraps. Like she was doing like she did everything to not snitch or not to blow this spot up, but it was his PR agent, and then this one makes it even worse. It was his PR agent, and then all of a sudden it's him, and then now it's his music, and now it's this other dumb shit that evolves around him. I understand. And like I said, I'm glad he put a story out, so now I can decipher which like what to believe or what do I want to hear. And the survey says it all points down to Meg. I'm going with the more consistent than the one that's really fucking everywhere and spotty. So let me know what y'all think. How do you feel like this should be addressed? Because I said he was a sucker ass nigga, and then like my own, I'm not gonna lie, my own cousins didn't like that, but hopefully this will understand it. So, and I love my cousins. I love all my cousins. We're men. We're gonna talk it out. But let me know what y'all think. Till then, my name is Oskina Fly, and I'm out. Peace.